You're Ridley.
Got room for one more?
See, I was very, very surprised as to how dull and uninteresting the Napoleon film from exactly around this point last year was. Especially considering how good of a film The Last Duel was at that time and even till now. And I always believed in Ridley Scott and he delivered here. In this constant age of Hollywood that has no original ideas and we get sequel after sequel, was this film a necessary follow-up? I do not really care about that because I love it. And the opening of this film, it just sets you straight in. Even from the recent Ridley Scott films like The Last Duel and Napoleon, as I've mentioned, you know that sense of magnitude will be here, that sense of massive scale, that immersion to put you into this world that he has created. And the recreation of Rome and the recreation of the Colosseum is all done beautifully here, as you would expect. And see, you watch this film for one thing, and it's that spectacle. Like the extras also acting like they are watching down on men kill each other. We view that same thing. It's just that moment of joy to enjoy and watch. From memory, I feel like this film had more of those parts in total compared to the original. And we'll add it was a bit more creative with those Colosseum fights. But I will say the heights of what this film reached in those moments, it surpassed the heights of the original. But the consistency of the original between those was like maintained more there than on here. Because I feel like at some point they just did the most creative things, but they didn't really delve deep into them. Like for example, the one-on-one duels, it was more of a spectacle, and even compared to like, see, forgive me, I'm going to compare this film to The Last Duel a lot. So that movie was a phenomenal movie and it was directed by the same guy. But even compared to that fight at the end of that film, nothing felt as much gravitas as that film had. And see, that was just freaking amazing. It was one of my favorite fights on screen I've ever seen. But Ridley Scott, you absolutely bank on this guy to go harder, push it further. But we never got anything quite on the level of that. But see, as I mentioned, point on creativity in this film surpasses those two films combined. And also one thing I really appreciate this film for doing, which is something that he also did in The Last Duel, is that they pushed that R rating here. Because I feel like that was a major concern for me. Because me, I love to see gore in films, especially because I rewatched that first movie. And I feel like if that first movie was rated R, like you could have just made that movie PG-13 because there was really nothing pushing the boundaries with that R rating. And in this film, I was having that same that same skepticism. But there's this scene with monkeys, and as soon as you get that, you're going to be entertained. And also might add on the one-on-one fights, if you have watched the trailers, the one between Pedro and Pascal and Paul Mescal, bit disappointing considering what we have gotten from this director and also this IP before. But see, outside of that, on a technical level, this film reaches the heights of other big spectacles of this year. Think your Dunes, think your Furiosas. The sets are gorgeous, visual effects are amazing. The sound design was honestly just something else to listen to that just added this weight, and everything just being done is just words cannot describe it. You just gotta watch it in the cinema. But see, out of all these things are nice, they're all really good things, but the storytelling of this movie, how does it hold up? And for me personally, it's way better than the original. No hate to that film, but I think that film is a great cinematic marvel. But storytelling wise, it's a very basic premise and something that's done a lot of, something that's done enough of. And see, it's a good thing to see film take risks, and I feel like this movie took the right risks and it was for the better. Plot wise, this film just did way more than its predecessor, and that paired with the characters, it just added that more extra layer of value. It had twists that I love its inclusion, so I don't want to spoil anything. But see, the changes and in the characters was all fun and good. The performances were stellar from both past and present cast members. Pomesco was great in this, but for me, he took a bit of a little too long before he reached that level that he needed to be as the lead character. But once he got there, you know what it's all about. Comparison is the thief of joy, but he wasn't still as good as Russell. But see, that doesn't matter. He was good as his own character. Denzel was phenomenal in this as ever. Thought he was gonna play this side character and just play himself. Like Drummond didn't play himself, but like I thought Denzel was just gonna be Denzel in this. But see, I love what they did with his character. They expanded it on his role, and let alone where they took his character to. My goodness, it was nothing I could have expected from this movie. See, I didn't watch no trailers or anything, so I don't know what happened going into this movie. So if they didn't spoil it in the trailers, it was just this movie. Oh gosh, I don't say anything. Besides Denzel, he will blow you away in this movie. And I might say this, he might get Oscar nominated for this role, but who knows? He stole the screen for me, and nobody else came close to him, in my opinion. Joseph Quinn also in this as Denzel. I was surprised in the opposite way this time. I thought he was going to have a major role in this, but he had such a diminished role. Kind of shocked me. But Pedro Pascal, Alexander Karim, Connie Nielsen also reprising her role. They were all great, all good performances, elevated by what was a really, really good film. I cannot stress enough as to how good this movie was. It's probably not the best movie I watched this year, but it's easily up there as one of the best I have seen though this year. And maybe, let me just say this year for now. I really had no negatives to say about this film aside maybe it could have done more of a bigger or cooler fight sequences and stuff. But see, that doesn't really matter. We got what we got, and what we got was pretty cool anyways. The movie was paced excellently, never felt like a drag to me from start to finish. I did not even care what was going on outside the world. It kept me locked in, and it felt like I was just sitting down for 30 minutes, and this is a 2.5 hour movie. I would love to know what you thought about this movie because I freaking loved it. I hope you felt the same way that I feel about it. Thank you for watching this video. I'm really happy you stayed till the end, and see you in the next one hopefully. Bye.